System of a Down are seen as one of the pioneers of nu metal, and I would say they're personally my favorite metal band. Toxicity was my first ever experience with nu metal, and on first listen I loved it, but my love for it has grown more and more as I've spent more time with it. It's the most innovative metal music I've heard, not only sound-wise because it has some very melodic bits, but also content-wise, ranging from different subject matters on pretty much every song. In this video, I will explain why I love this project. Let's start with the band members. They have Armenian origin and do take some influence in their music from that part of the world. You can even spot that on Toxicity. The rhythm on Horse Pilot is exactly like something from over there.
My horse is a shackled old man.
There is also a bit of mandolin in this album, so yeah, there you go. The two, I guess, frontmen of the band are Serj Tankian and Darren Malakian. Serj is the main vocalist, and oh boy, Serj is a very unique vocalist. He's unlike any other metal vocalist I've heard. When you ask someone randomly on the street, let's say you go out and you decide to ask people, what do you imagine when you think of metal music? I think a lot of answers you would get would be like, you know, harsh guitars, and the big one being screaming. I think a lot of people would associate metal with screaming. Now yes, Serj can be loud when he wants to be. He has a very good yelling voice and he has a really deep growl. But his voice is also extremely soft at times, which creates a really nice dynamic. The best example of this is on the title track, Toxicity. On the verses he has a very gentle voice, while the instrumental isn't that loud. Later on, yes, a harsh guitar comes in, but it isn't that loud and Serj continues to softly sing over it. But right as we go into the chorus, Serj can just switch it up, get loud and bring energy. The song ATWA is a great example of this as well. Probably the calmest song on the project. If you were to show this to someone who isn't too familiar with metal and told them, you know, this is metal music, I don't think they would believe you. So I think this nice dynamic that Serj brings into the band with the softer vocals and the melodic vocals makes the band what it is. This is a quality that I haven't seen in many bands. System of a Down pulled this off very well, changing tempo and changing the whole feel of a song in specific segments, and that's mainly due to Serj, I would say. Darren Malakian is the guitarist of the band. He's genuinely an insane guitarist, not so much technically, I mean, don't get me wrong, he's still good, but he's mostly good as a writer. The melodies he writes are extremely catchy and good, which plays a huge role into the success of the band and the listenability of it. He also does help out from time to time with vocals, which sound pretty good as well. I've quickly tried to summarize why there is no way this band would work without these two and the qualities of System of a Down, so now it's time for me to get into the actual album. Prison Song is the intro, and I really love this as an intro. The song mostly talks about how corrupt the government is and the high rate of incarceration. This is a very common topic in their songs, but they expand on much more, and I mean much more. This song is harsh and a perfect way to start off the album. The first time I heard the switch from the chorus to the bridge, I was blown away a little because, you know, you just don't hear stuff like that. Needles covers the harms of drug abuse, and it's probably even harsher than Prison Song. The chorus is so aggressive, and Serj's vocals right here are generally loud, going all out on the chorus with the banging drums and the loud guitar. But then we have this thing that I was talking about, the progression of these songs and this album. It switches so smoothly into something calmer, a cleaner guitar on the bridge with Darren being pretty melodic. It just goes right back into both him and Serj screaming and growling. As I said, Serj has a really deep growl, and the way that he can kind of switch from growling to just like singing normally, it's crazy. Dear Dance is the next song, and it's one of my personal favorites from the album, but god damn, it is loud when the song starts. Like, you know, Prison Song, Needles, Dear Dance, and then Jet Pilot, they all get progressively louder at the start, I feel like. Like, just listen to this. There's a really cool guitar riff on the verses, while Serj almost operatically flows over that and the quick hi-hats. And what I really love about this song is the pre-chorus, how catchy it is, and the amazing transition into the chorus. That's the thing this album has going for it. It is very catchy because of the melodic elements of it. Like, I remember the first time I listened to this, it was immediately stuck in my head. Like, the next day I remember just singing, beyond the Staples Center you can see America, what is dying for, avenging disgrace. Every aspect of this is perfect. The unique and driving guitar melody, the quick drums that switch to being more explosive on the chorus, to Serj's unique delivery here throughout the whole song and in different segments. And then we get to the bridge. If you haven't noticed, they have this ability to make some amazing bridges. We get a pretty basic but great melody from there, and the bass stays consistent and Serj gets soft again. Pause. A mandolin comes into the mix, bringing some of their influences that I was talking about earlier and how easily they're able to mix that sound together. The transition into the chorus is also great, with Serge just softly speaking into the mic and Darren melodically singing right as it drops into the chorus. This song is definitely one of my favorites from them. And another song that I have to cover is, well, Chop Suey. It has quite extensive subject matter and there's a lot to read into it, to be honest, just like this whole album, but I think most of us have heard it. Lil Uzi Vert did a cover of it recently, which is, let's just say it's subpar. But this song, yeah, this is one of the most iconic songs ever and one of the greatest songs ever. People mostly know this because of Serge's delivery on the verses, but that's probably the worst part of the song in my opinion. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still love it. Like, this song is a 10 out of 10, no question. I love everything about it. But it's not even the highlight of the song. He goes from that part to being more melodic on the chorus, which sounds great. The drums sound extremely clear. It's probably it's up there as some of my favorite drumming from this album. And especially that snare. It is crispy. And you know, who doesn't like a good sounding snare? There's also a bit of piano in the chorus, which sounds nice and just keeps adding more texture onto the song. And here we go. The best part of the song being the bridge to the outro, and the outro itself. We have a change of melody with Serge and Darren screaming "Father" at the top of their lungs. There is this really quick guitar which sounds just awesome. It just sounds really good. It's fiery, I would say. The piano comes back with the mandolin again as Serge shows off some of his range with backing vocals from Darren. This part is iconic and one of the highest highs on the whole project, if not the best part on the whole album. Fun fact, Serge actually didn't have the lyrics down to this part, he just had the melody down, so he was wondering what to say over it, and their producer, Rick Rubin, suggested that they take a random book from the place that they were at and then just find a random page and select a random line from that page. And it ended up being this. But yeah, really an iconic song. One of my favorites is ATWA. I already talked a little bit about this song. The subject matter of this song is actually about Charles Manson. System of a Down back some of his views on, life, I guess. So this song is a song from his perspective and is the calmest song on the whole project. And when I said they've got diverse subject matter, I mean it. X talks about immigration, this talks about Charles Manson, Pogo Stick is a song about an orgy, Science is a song about, well, science and how it kind of fails to recognize faith, and so on. They've got a lot of subject matters. But yeah, back to ATWA, the guitar melody on the verses sounds like something from a melancholic rock song, which works. The song is one of the most melodic on the project. Eventually the song does go into madness as there's a little guitar solo which sounds great. Again, just more progression. This is really what stands out to me about this album. Yes, metal is a pretty progressive genre in terms of sound structure, but Toxicity takes this to a whole nother level. The last song I'd like to mention is the title track, Toxicity. I already talked about this song at the beginning, so I'm not gonna spend too much time on it, but I really love the feel of this song, going from the melodic verses to Serge yelling on the chorus to just a full-on meltdown near the end. For a while, this used to be my favorite metal song of all time. I don't know if that has changed. It's still up there though, definitely. From the subject matter, which is about ADHD, to the sound of this, to Serge's vocals on the outro where you can really tell he's pushing himself, it all sounds so manic. It's a perfect song from front to back. And yeah, that's basically Toxicity summed up. It's diverse in its subject matter, it's a weird mashup of melodic and jarring, and it's one of the most unique albums I have ever heard. And I wanted to make a video covering it and hopefully put some of you guys on. Please make sure you like and subscribe. That would mean so much to me, as it helps push my video and my channel into the YouTube algorithm. But yeah, I guess I'll see you guys next time. Peace!